Hello friends, hope you enjoyed the Battle of Winterfell. It was really good to see Arya killing the Night King and saving all. Now that the dead have been defeated, the final showdown between Daenerys and Cersei is inevitable. The preview of episode 4 is already out and looks into the aftermath of the Battle of Winterfell. As Dany proclaims, it's time to win the last war. For Cersei, the plan is simple: rip Daenerys Targaryen by root and stem. It will be a riot to watch the two queens in action, but there might be other contenders as well. On top of the list is our very own Jon Snow, aka Aegon Targaryen, aka the rightful heir of the throne. As we head into the second half of the final season of Game of Thrones, our heroes have braved one of two large wars that have been set up over the course of the series. With the Great War against the Undead over, there are more major survivors than expected, but the heroes' numbers have been significantly reduced by the incredible onslaught of Whites. Now, Daenerys will presumably march south on King's Landing to claim the Iron Throne, but her forces and her claim to the rulership of Westeros have been severely weakened over the past few episodes. In the epic fight against Cersei that's still to come, who has numbers on their side? Thankfully, some industrious Redditors have paid a lot of attention in the past seasons, and tracked what we know about Daenerys and Cersei's army sizes. Prior to the Battle of Winterfell, Daenerys had approximately 10,000 Northerners, 10,000 from the Vale, less than 8,000 Unsullied, and less than 100,000 Dothraki, a number Jorah quotes in Season 6. We saw what was apparently all the Dothraki extinguished by Whites, and we know that the Unsullied in Jon's forces also suffered heavy casualties. The battle episode, The Long Night, was shot in such a dark, confusing way that it's hard to take a final count of the survivors, but we know at least these folks survived: Jaime, Brienne, Daenerys and both her living dragons, Arya, Gendry, the Hound, Jon Snow and his direwolf ghost, Podrick, Samwell Tarly, Tyrion, Tormund, Sansa, Grey Worm and what's left of the Unsullied, Missandei, Varys, and presumably any Dothraki who managed to survive the first wave of Whites. We barely saw any other Northerners left in the fight, but Daenerys can likely scrounge up a few thousand for her army. The real key to the second battle will be the two dragons and the fighting prowess of Arya, Jon Snow, Brienne, and any of Dany's remaining army from Essos. We also haven't seen Bronn yet, although he was sent on an assassination mission to finish off Tyrion and Jaime. But if they survive him, they could also complicate Cersei's plans, given how well they know her. On Cersei's side, she's got 20,000 strong from the Golden Company, at a heavy cost to the crown, a small Lannister army that's probably less than 10,000 soldiers, and around 30,000 Ironborn from Euron. She also likely has more ships than Daenerys, given that Euron built 900 ships, as revealed early on in Season 7. Before the Battle of Winterfell, Cersei's army would have been overwhelmed by the massive number of Dothraki soldiers, but now she has the numbers advantage. It looks like her decision to be devious and selfish by not sending her army north to fend off the undead has worked out well in her favor. That's a little disappointing. Jon previously made out the White Walker threat to be the serious danger to Daenerys, but it now seems that she was correct when she said Cersei was the real enemy. Besides numbers, Cersei could also have more wildfire, besides the stores she used to blow up the Sept of Baelor in Season 6. And then there are Qyburn's experiments in necromancy, which brought back the mountain from the dead. We're also likely to get the long-awaited Clegane Bowl, where the Clegane brothers face off. The Hound spent half the latest episode panting in panic after coming too close to fire, due to the trauma the mountain inflicted on him as a child, but he apparently survived the battle. And the mountain will definitely be by Cersei's side as a powerful chess piece in her army. Still, with the army of the undead wiped out, and most of the major heroes still alive, including two Targaryens to ride two large, ferocious dragons, Cersei doesn't have an easy fight ahead of her. If the past season and a half have been any indication, it seems like the good guys are set to prevail on Game of Thrones, even if it comes at some cost. Meanwhile, the Battle of Winterfell was a sight to remember, indeed. We had to say goodbye to many, but ultimately, the living triumphed. And because of one girl. Arya Stark. Another character who played a key role during the battle was Bran Stark. The theory that he was the Night King turned out to be false. Daenerys and Cersei's conflict with one another more than speaks for itself, but we need to keep an eye on how it's going to play out between Dany and Jon as well. Then there are all the other survivors of the Battle of Winterfell whose loyalties are on the line. Is Jaime Lannister suddenly going to return to Cersei's side, even after he and Brienne of Tarth had such a powerful moment one episode earlier? Can he turn his back against Tyrion, himself a Targaryen loyalist? And what about Tyrion and Sansa, who reconnected with one another in what they thought were their final moments down in the Winterfell crypts? Can they be voices of reason in whatever thorny throne drama is set to go down between the houses Stark, Lannister and Targaryen? One thing's for sure, Daenerys' vision of a ruined Red Keep with snow pouring all over the Iron Throne has yet to be realized. The final episodes are going to be epic. Cersei will most likely prove to worse than Night King now. Let's hope Game of Thrones finale doesn't break our hearts as they have been quoting it to be shocking. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.